And welcome back to Dwain Woode MD Live. Tonight, we're not talking about grinding harder. We're talking about building a system that withstands life's pressures. Because every one of us will face stress. The question isn't whether stress comes. The question is whether you collapse under stress, whether your routine maintains, whether you stay on your health plan, whether your structure is able to absorb it. In health, in metabolism, in routines, in fasting, in the things that we do, resilience isn't luck, it's design. And tonight we're going to show you exactly why it matters. We're going to talk about how resilience gets stronger, and we're going to bring it home and we're going to make it practical. Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I am here because I want you to have the success in your health just like you're having in other areas of your life. I want you to avoid those complications and be around for the things that are so important to you. Your family, your friends, your career, your dreams. And if you want to be here, you've got to be healthy and you've got to be strong. You don't need superhuman strength. What you need is a strategy you can trust, a plan you can follow, and the support to keep showing up and keep doing what you need to do. Hey, if you're new, go ahead and put new in the comments because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that we are excited that you're here. We're happy that you're here. If you have a comment, if you have a question, that is, go ahead and put that in the comments because I'd love to make sure that we get to that because that is very important. We want to make sure that we are answering all those questions that you may have as you are we're going through the episode, go through the show tonight. Okay, we've got some good things that we're going to be taking a look at here in just a little while. I've got my monitors off to the side, right? I've got my Dexcom Clarity that's right down below me. And we're going to talk about our Blueprint series. We've been in that series here now for several weeks. And it is an amazing series that we're doing because it helps us to put into place those things that we need to maintain our health. Now, if you've been with us, if you're new, or you are just coming back, if you just need to get a refresher on the channel, on the YouTube channel, there is a playlist and it's called Start Here. So if you're interested in knowing how to jump in, how to get started, what you need to know, what do we talk about here on the channel, go ahead and just drop over there to the Start Here videos. Now, there are several other videos that are on the channel. So if there are other things that you want to know, they're there. But this just simplifies the process for you so that you know where to get started. And then, of course, if you're interested in what we're doing this week, you want to know what the shows are, what the topic is. You want to see what I eat for the last time before I start my fast. And of course, what I eat for the first time after my fast is going to be in this week's videos. Make sure that you get over there and watch. And remember, the channel is designed so that when you show up, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can just plug in, right, to any of our health action pillars and go ahead and get started. In fact, one of the very important ones that we're doing right now is our MOVE campaign, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at that promo right now. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started. So I am so excited about that campaign. If you remember, we started out with a 100-day walk to consistency, right? We ended up doing 120 days, and then we did 113 days of strength training. All right, and now we are officially in that move campaign. So we are now, right? So if we put all that together, we've been at this now for almost 300 days, y'all. That's right, 300 days. So make sure that you jump in there. It's all on the channel. Like I said, if you're here, if you're new, if you need a refresher, the Start Here playlist is where you want to go. Jump in there, and you can start walking through those. And as you watch the videos, they'll make reference to other videos of other things that you want to know. Like there are some people who are interested specifically in fasting. We've got a playlist out there, how to fast successfully. Of course, we've got our move campaign that's out there, all the shows that we've been doing, all the series that we've had, Play Your Own Game, Finishing Strong, the Health Action Plan, the Heat Model, the COPA, all of that is there. But if you're coming, I want you to make sure that you're getting through the Start Here playlist, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at some numbers, and then we'll say hello to our community members. Let's look at this is what my blood sugars are right now. And you'll see right there, this is my Freestyle Libre. It says that my blood sugar right now is an 86. And if I take my finger and we're looking at this graph down here, this is the last 12 hours. Right, 102, 103. So we've been in the 90s there for most of the afternoon, and then right in here, this is lunch. You see, we started out right about 80 something. That's about 1 o'clock. And let's see, what did I have? I had a salad, and I had 3 chicken fingers. So there you go. So salad and 3 chicken fingers went from an 88 right there up to 128. That was the highest that we got, 128, and then started coming back down and to where we are right now, okay? So from 88 to 128, and then back down to where we are right now. And as you guys know, when I am not fasting, in my regular non-fasting windows, I try to do 1 meal a day. Of course, that's not a hard and fast rule, right? So, and I eat a regular meal, y'all. Let me say that again. So I eat regular food. This is not, biscuits and celery and finger foods. This is real food. Right? And that's the power that fasting brings. So if you're out there, tomorrow we'll start our fast. Come on out and hang out with us. This is not a fasting show, but just wanted to make that point there. All right, so that's where we are. And then, of course, looking at my reports, I can go over here, say my time in range, and we're looking at this number right in here. So 86% over the last 7 days, and you'll see down below 14% are below 70, and that's usually what happens when I'm fasting. If I look at the 14-day, right, 30-day, and of course, the one that everybody's interested in is our 90-day, because that's where our A1C comes from. It is an average of our last 90 days. So 86% time in range and 14% low. So I expect my A1C, right, should be pretty good. And we'll take a look at some estimated numbers here in just a minute. Then coming out of that and looking at this report, here I'm looking at what my average blood sugar is for the last 7 days, the last 14 days, 30 days, and then of course 90 days. Once again, that's the one everybody likes to know. So average of 90 is what it is for the last 90 days. And then down here, we break the blood sugars up according to the different times of the day. And I love this graph, or this view, because I can, based on this, make decisions about how I behave during the day. For example, if I notice that, hey, my blood sugars are great for the rest of the day, but it looks like right around lunchtime my blood sugar spikes up, then I've got to look at what I do at lunch. What am I eating? What are my activities? And make some changes. If I notice that I go to bed on time, but during the night my blood sugar spikes up, then my question becomes, what happens to me at nighttime? Right? You see how we can go through and kind of pinpoint different places where we can make changes. So I love this graph, or this view, because it allows me to do that. And then let's go ahead and we're going to look at my Dexcom. And so my Dexcom right now, blood sugar is 119. And I can look at my Dexcom once again for the last 12 hours, but I'm going to go here for 24 hours because the Libre doesn't let me do 24, but the Dexcom does. and I can go and I could look at, see what's been going on with my blood sugar. You'll see there the graph, and so 140s, and as you know, the Dexcom tends to be higher than the Libre, and so even right now, the Libre says that my blood sugar was in the 80s, and right now the Dexcom says 119, right? So almost, was that 20, 30 points higher? Right, there we go. And so down to where we are right now. And then here's my summary. So my average for the last 14 days, 108. But let's hop quickly over to the 90 days. And my average is 114 with a glucose management indicator. And that is a surrogate for my A1C. So if I were to get an A1C, I expect that that's what it would be, or close to that. If you did not see the show that we did, where I actually walked through my blood work as I was going to see my doctor, and you can see there my A1C, my cholesterol, my testosterone, my kidney function, my liver function, sodium, potassium, calcium, my white count, my insulin levels, my C-peptide. All of that is there on that show, and it gives you an idea of the things that you need to be tracking, that you need to be talking to your physician about, particularly if you are metabolic syndrome, if you're diabetic, if you've got fatty liver, and for anyone interested in their general health, that also walks through the things that you need to be paying attention to. Because just because your numbers say they're good doesn't mean that means that you are that you can throw your hands up and say, okay, I don't need to do anything. Okay, I want to make that point. All right. So that's what we see here. And then let's go ahead, and I'm gonna hop over here, and here is I've got my Keto Mojo meter, and I've got my Contour. Keto Mojo gives me glucose and my ketones, and then this one, the Contour, gives me glucose. So let's go ahead and let's take a look and see what those numbers are going. I need to get my container. So I've got a blue strip for ketones and a brown strip for glucose. I need a strip for my Contour, and then let's see, do I have, okay, there it is. I thought I was out of my Lancet. So here's my Lancet. Let's go ahead and get a strip out for the Contour. And so we've not been fasting now since we broke our fast last week. So if you have a guess of what you think it is, go ahead and drop that in there. And I think I see some people already starting to put some guesses in. I'm going to guess that it's going to be in the normal range. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up this ketone strip just so I can have it off to the side, because you know that's the one that usually gives me trouble opening up. So I got that off the side. And then here's my Lancet. As you know, I don't use a lancing device, so I'm going to just open this up. And this is the finger I've been picking on, so let's go ahead and, let's do that tonight again. And ow, 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 ow. And let's see, that should have given us a pretty, well, it's a good drop, not a brisk drop, but enough for us to get started. Let's get that into the Keto Mojo. We need another drop for the Contour. Now you'll see there that the Keto Mojo says I'm 97. Let's go back to this view. The Contour says I'm 105. The Keto Mojo said, the Dexcom says I'm 118. So they're all kind of different right now. And then let's go ahead and get this one out. Get the ketone strip in there, and we'll go ahead and see what that shows. I see someone out there saying low, and I'm anticipating that as well. So Kenti, thank you. All right, let's see. Here we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And low. Right, so there you go. So Kenti, you got it. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can get it synced up in the app. All right, let's see if that'll work. It's been giving us some trouble the last couple of times that we tried this. We'll see if it'll pull over. Yeah, and there it is. It did pull over. So let's do this. Let's go to this view. Okay, So when we talk about ketones, remember ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal, which mine is low, so less than 0.5. 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then 1.5 or above 1.5, that is considered therapeutic ketosis. So we're in the normal range right now. And so I always want to do that at the beginning of the week so that you guys get to see what happens as we go through the week, as we start fasting. So tomorrow we'll start fasting. Of course, on Wednesday, we'll do our 24-hour check-in, 36-hour check-in, 48-hour check-in, 56-hour check-in, and of course, when we break the fast on Friday, we'll do a complete review of fasting. So make sure you guys come out and you are here for that. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's say hello to some of our community members because I see you guys out there. And let's see, let's go to this one here really quickly. Let's see, and I see Gian says, "Hi, doctor. What's up, Gian? How are you? Thank you for coming through." Gian says, "Hi, LLG." Darnell Laurie, "Hey, man, what's up?" Darnell is new to us, y'all. Man, this is, flashback, dude. What is happening? I see. I've been following you guys a little bit on what you guys been doing. So thanks for coming through. Say hi to the family for me. So just good to see you. Just good to see you here in the space, by the way. Gian, she said, "Thank you, doctor. Thanks for programming. So I respect you leading us. I'm starting my 12:48 fast today." So Gian, congratulations, by the way. Hand clap to you. And if you guys have been following us, you guys heard me do a shout out to Gian last week because she was on her 11th week of 48-hour fasting, and this week she's this is the 12th week of fasting for 48 hours. So yeah, great. And then Gian is guessing 0.3. Kenti is guessing low. And Gian, I hope your fast goes smoothly. Let's see. Ha. Good evening, doc. Thank you, Kenti. Yeah, Kenti got it right on the nose. But I anticipated, Kenti, right? So we anticipated that's what it would be. So I don't see one of our other community members out there right now, but if you are eating a ketogenic diet, or if you are eating a fasting mimicking diet, or even if you're in fasting and you're intending to be in ketosis, then one of the tricks or keys to the benefit of ketosis is when you break the fast, you want to try to maintain ketosis as long as possible. And so when I break my fast on Fridays, I tend to extend that ketosis as much as I can into the weekend. I don't eat a ketogenic diet in my non-fasting window. But that's a whole another conversation that we'll need to have at some point, okay? And Kenti said, "Yep, correct." Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead, y'all, and let's hop into our discussion for tonight. This is going to be a good one as we continue our series on blueprints. Let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so in this episode, we are continuing in our blueprint series, and this is an amazing one. But I want to start tonight with a story. And I want to start with, and this is a moment that I will not forget, and I have not forgotten. So years ago, I was talking with one of my patients, longtime patient, a guy who had diabetes, type 2 diabetes, whose control was exceptional. When I say exceptional, very good. So his numbers were controlled. His weight was down. He looked calm and healthy. And he comes in one day, and so I'm sitting there and we're talking with him. And I asked him. I said, "Man, what is the secret? What is your secret to maintaining good health?" And he said, "I realized that it wasn't about motivation." He said, "I want to be here for my family." He said, "I want to be alive for the people who depend on me. I have a daughter," and she was young at the time. He said, "I want to be here if she gets married, when she gets married, to walk her down the aisle one day. And then he said these words, and this is the crux. He said, it's the responsible thing to do. And that line never left me because it made me confront something in my own life. For years, I had the information. I had the medical training. I had all the knowledge about metabolism and hormones and nutrition, you name it. But it didn't make a difference because I didn't have the structure to maintain it. And without structure, my blood sugars were up. And you guys have seen those. My weight was up. My health was drifting. I began thinking about my son Blake with those words. And suddenly my responsibility moment clicked. I needed to be around for him, not just alive, but healthy and present and stable and strong for the young man. That's when structure became non-negotiable. That's when I realized resilience isn't about being strong. It's not your inner strength. It's about having a system strong enough to carry you when life gets heavy. And that's what this is all about. That's our conversation in this episode. So let's talk about why resilience really matters. All right? So let's shift from the story. Let's talk about what this means. And tonight we're answering one simple question. And the question is essentially this: why do some people crumble under pressure while others stay steady? Others stay consistent, others stay grounded, even when life gets loud. Because you've seen it. Two people start at the same point. Same tools, same instructions, same goals, and yet one stays the course and the other falls off. And it's not willpower. It's not personality. It's not desire. It's not wanting to be healthy and the other doesn't. And despite what people think, it's not luck. It's structure. Structure creates resilience. Resilience protects progress. And progress, consistent, steady, reliable progress is what builds a limitless life. So I want you to take a breath with me right now. Because for 6 weeks now, or 6 episodes, we've been designing the blueprint for your health. The blueprint for your life, the blueprint for your routines, rhythms, your decisions, your direction. And tonight, we are going to stress test it. Because here's the truth. No one likes to talk about this. A blueprint that can't endure disruption is a blueprint that can't sustain transformation. Because disruption is going to happen. And you already know why. Because life isn't smooth. Life isn't predictable. Life doesn't wait until you're ready. Life doesn't give you one thing at a time, and when you get through that, then it gives you another. What happens usually is when one thing comes, then another comes, and then another, and another, and another. And just when you think you're coming out of one thing, something else happens. Stress comes, emotions come, distractions, disruptions come, old habits come knocking. And the people who stay healthy, the people who improve their diabetes, who master their rhythms, who master their weight, who maintain structure long term, who stay consistent without restarting every Monday, they aren't the ones that are perfect. They aren't stronger than everybody else. They're not smarter than everybody else. They're the ones whose structures carry them when the motivation disappears. And this is resilience. Not toughness, not gritty not grit, not gritting your teeth, not who can hold on the best, not pushing through harder. Resilience is about the ability to stay aligned even when pressure is applied. It's the blueprint that holds its shape while everything around you is shifting. And here, we're going to learn about what that means and how do we go about building. So why does it matter? It matters because that is the crux of why we have people who improve in their health and have long-term success, and people who don't and don't have long-term success. So let's talk about the science of resilience. Right? So now that we're shifting away from that story, because resilience, the ability to bounce back, to stay steady, and to recover quickly, it's not a personality trait. It's not a mindset trick. And it's certainly not a matter of luck or genetics. Resilience is a biological blueprint. It is built, and it is built from the inside out. So what we want to do is I want to show you 3 internal systems that help to determine whether you stay grounded under pressure or you collapse. Now, the beauty about this is that this works for health. This works for relationships. This works for parenting. You can take this and you can extrapolate it and apply it in so many different areas. Number 1, the stress system. Your cortisol rhythm. Cortisol is your body's first responder, the system that interprets stress and manages your reaction. When your structure holds, when your routines, rhythms, and boundaries are consistent, your cortisol follows a predictable pattern. It rises in the morning, it fuels your alertness and your focus during the day, then it gradually declines in the evening. This is what happens. This is how it's supposed to work. It helps to wake you up, it helps to give you the energy that you need, and then it recedes into the evening. When this rhythm is intact, you feel mentally steady, emotionally regulated, less reactive, more grounded, more capable of handling stress when things are going on. You feel clearer. But when structures break, when sleep is random, meals are unpredictable, stress is unmanaged, cortisol spikes, and everything becomes chaotic. Yeah. Think about it. The times when you seem to be at wit's end are the time when things are just not normal. They're not in the flow. I can't tell you the number of people that I talk to, and I'll put myself in there too, that say to me, man, I was going fine until X. And you could put X in there, whatever X is, until we traveled, until my son got sick, until something happened on the job, until I had that project, until I had that exam. Whatever it is, plug it in. But things were fine until. And when that until happens, if we don't have the structure, if we don't have the ability to bounce back, blood sugars rise, hunger increases, mood becomes unstable, you lose focus, small things feel overwhelming, decisions become reactive instead of intentional. Resilience starts to crumble right there. Because no matter how motivated you are, I want you to hear this. It doesn't matter how motivated you are. It doesn't matter how much vision you have. It does not matter how much desire you have. You cannot outperform a dysregulated stress system. Right? Number 1, your stress rhythm. or stress system. Number two, the metabolic system. This is your energy stability. Now, this one is important. And in our last episode, we talked about putting things in place to help stabilize energy. Resilience is impossible when your energy is unstable. If your metabolism is swinging, your emotion will swing with it. Your decisions will swing with it. Your willpower will swing with it. Stable energy, stable emotions, and then stable decisions. That's the progression. If my energy is stable, then my emotions will be stable and my decisions are stable. This is why we are so intentional about the health action plan. Why we're so intentional about walking and fasting and balanced bites and hydration and rest and all the things that we talk about. Not for the sake of the numbers, but for the sake of stability. A stable metabolism gives you a stable foundation. It's all about you and the blueprint and the structure, especially when life applies pressure. Think about it. If you don't have to think about what to do next because it's been ingrained, it is a routine. When life comes, it may cause some flexibility. It may blow you, but the routine is already built in. Our mind, our brain will go to the point of least resistance. And if you have to, in that moment, make a decision about whether you're going to go walking or not, in that moment, guess what you're going to do? You're not going to go walking. I'll tell you that. This is your brain's ability to fall into place when there is a pattern that's already built. And then the third is the cognitive system. Executive function. This is your command center, the part that's responsible for emotional regulation, pattern recognition, decision clarity, task initiation, follow through, self-control, name it, right? This is it right here. And here's the key. Your executive function performs best when your life is predictable. Think about it. Once again, if you don't have to make a decision in that moment because the decision is already built, it's already baked in, it's already a rhythm, it's already grooved, the grooves are already set. Structure actually frees your brain to think clearly because now I could put energies into making a decision, into dealing with the thing that is now causing a problem. Otherwise, I'm divided. When I'm in the office, I talk to a lot of people about situations that are going on in their lives. And often I'll walk into a room and I'll ask the question, what's going on in your life right now? Or how have you been since I last saw you? And people usually think I'm asking that question simply to be cordial or making small talk. And I mean, part of it is small talk. But I understand that because of what I do, and because of the countless patients that I've seen, I understand the impact of life on health. The impact of life on metabolism and blood sugars and weight. And so I will talk with them, and what I find is that they are dividing their energies. So something real life is happening. And at the same time that they are fighting real life and dealing with real life, they're over here also trying to, at the same time, put structures in place for their blood sugars, for their eating, for their exercising, because it wasn't there before. And they realize, hey, my blood sugars are going up. And at the time, they're trying to put that in place at that moment, but their energies are being divided. And so they're losing on both fronts. They're overwhelmed because they don't have enough energy to deal with the crisis or whatever is going on in the family. And they're worried over here because they didn't have a structure that's keeping their blood sugar or their weight or their whatever under control. So when there is a structure that's built, that's already in place, it frees your mind to now deal with the stuff that's happening. It gives you capacity. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. When your routines are consistent, your boundaries are defined, your rhythms are steady, it frees the brain. It allows you to do and to experience and to put energy into the thing that's going on right now. Your brain doesn't have to fight to stay online during stress anymore. It's kind of like getting in your car and you're going to work or you're going to somewhere that's very familiar. You get in the car and before you know it, you're there. You didn't have to use brain power to get there. In fact, you're probably thinking about something else. I know that happens to me. I'm already at work. And sometimes if I'm not careful, if I'm going to a different place, I'm so used to getting in the car and going to work that my body begins taking me there. It's like, oh, I'm not going there today. Why? Because it's routine. It's built in. The brain will say, I know what to expect. I know what comes next. I know how to respond. That right there, that is resilience. Because resilience is not a feeling, y'all. It's a biological outcome of structure. Resilience is not a feeling. So now that you understand the science of it, let's show you how this plays out. Show you how this plays out. Okay? Let's talk a little bit about the framework that we're talking about, this resilience framework. Did I say resilience is not biological? Did I say it's structural? We often talk to people and we use phrases like, oh, they're not resilient, as though it's a personality trait. Well, if he was more resilient, if she was more resilient, and we make it a personal characteristic as opposed to and something that people are either born with or they're not, as opposed to something that's learned. It's not about being strong-willed. It's not about something that some people are born with and some people don't have. Resilience is built, it's designed, and it has structure. So let's talk about those. And three things, right? And we've talked about one of these already, well, most of them. Number one, predictability. Your brain works best when life has patterns. There are thousands of signals that come to us at any one time. And our brain, we don't have the capacity to identify and deal with all the signals that come to us during the day. And so what our brain does is it takes those signals and it forms patterns with them. And it drops them into buckets. Okay, that one is kind of like this, what I've seen before. That one is like this, I've seen that before. That one is like this, I've seen it before. And we behave to groups of things in the same way. So an emotion or the way someone talks to us, or we see something that reminds us of something that happened in the past, and we respond to that thing the way we would respond to everything in that bucket. And so we've categorized things into these patterns. 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 And so we' And so the brain is always looking for patterns. Your metabolism works best when your eating has a pattern. I anticipate this is what's going on, so my all the hormones are changing at a particular time. Your emotions calm down when your day has a pattern because it knows what to expect. Predictability lowers the background noise of life. It quiets the static. It reduces the unknowns. Your nervous system is constantly scanning. And when it sees things that are familiar, then it begins to say, okay, I'm good. This is why structure helps. This is why structured meals help blood sugars. This is why structured bedtime helps cortisol. This is why structured routines help your mood. Predictability tells your brain we're safe. We've been here before. We know what to do. When predictability rises, stress responses fall. So number one is predictability. Number two is capacity. Wow. True strength isn't measured by how much you can suffer. It's measured by how well you recover. We said it again. True strength isn't measured by how much you can suffer, how hard you can be, how much you can hold on. It's measured by how well you recover following life happening. Because endurance without recovery isn't resilience. It's depletion. Capacity grows when structure grows. When you hydrate on purpose, hydration. When you sleep with intention. When you fuel your body with the fuel that it needs consistently. Even in our community, as we fast with rhythm. And when we create space for your mind to reset, that's called rest and recovery, your internal capacity rises. And capacity is what lets you bounce back. When you're at your fullest, anything that comes pushes you over. But when you have capacity, you can absorb when life happens. Notice the same thing happened, but you are more resilient because you have the capacity. When your structure is strong, you don't break, you bend, and you absorb it. So number one is predictability. Number two is capacity. And then number three is flexibility. Resilience is not rigid. It's not perfection. It's not I have to do everything exactly right. Flexibility is controlled adaptability. It's the ability to shift, to adjust, to respond without falling apart, without judgment, without self-incrimination. It's being able to say, today isn't going as planned, but I'm still staying in there. I'm still staying in my rhythm. My morning wasn't successful, but my decision doesn't have to be. Something disrupted me, but it doesn't have to derail me. Flexibility is the difference between a structure that snaps and a structure that absorbs force and stays standing. And that's what resilience feels like in real life. Predictability builds calm, capacity builds stability, flexibility builds strength. So those are three foundational ideas that I want to make sure that you get. Right? So predictability, capacity, right? The ability to absorb, and flexibility. That's where resilience gets its power. So, where does resilience break down for most people. Right? And there are probably about 5 different places where it breaks down. So if resilience is built on predictability, capacity, and flexibility, we also need to be honest about the places where resilience breaks down, because people don't fall apart randomly. We fall apart predictably in the same places for the same reasons over and over and over again. Right? How many times have you said to yourself, man, there it is again? And so there are 5 major places where this happens. Let's walk through them together. Number 1 is rhythm disruption. When your morning rhythm breaks, your momentum breaks with it. When you're off schedule, when you're out of sync, because your morning is not just a time slot, it's an anchor. And when the anchor moves, the entire structure shifts. Inconsistent mornings, inconsistent waking up, inconsistent progress. This is why blood sugars, for a lot of people, will spike and they appear chaotic in the morning during the day. This is why emotional regulation drops when your day starts disorganized. Rhythm disruption. Your rhythm is your stabilizer. When it's disrupted, everything else becomes harder. Number 2, mental overload. This is the second stress point. Mental overload. So too many open loops, too many decisions, too many responsibilities floating around with no place to land. When your mind is overloaded, your structures can't support you. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is carrying too much without a system. I've talked before about being able to take the things that are in my mind and drop them into my digital organizer. When it comes out of my mind, guess what? My mind begins to calm. Mental overload erodes resilience because the brain interprets it as danger. Danger, Will Robinson. You guys remember that? And when your brain senses danger, it stops thinking clearly because it's in fight or flight mode at that point. It starts reacting emotionally. This is why predictability or predictable structures can't be optional. It's a neurologic protection. The next one is emotional carryover. This is when yesterday's stress becomes today's operating system. When you take stuff from yesterday, the weight from there that you haven't dealt with, and you bring it into today. It begins to compound because you already got some stuff for today. And you start reacting to today's challenges based on yesterday's exhaustion. How many times have you dealt with something today and you're actually reacting to something that happened yesterday? Some person, some conversation, some whatever happened. And this shows up in behaviors all the time, right? Think about it. Eating when you're not hungry. Why? Because you're frustrated, you're anxious, you're bored. Skipping your routine because you think, well, I don't have the time to stick with my routine, so I'll just do it this one time. And this one time turns into the next time and the next time and the next time. Number 3, abandoning the structure. So you skip the routine, and then there's something you've put in place, but this time you think that it's better to just, let's not do it this time. We'll come back to it next time. Or slipping back into old patterns. Yeah. So emotional carryover. Not because you don't know what to do, but because you're carrying too much emotional residue. Structure isn't just physical, it's also emotional hygiene. It helps us calm and clean. And next, poor recovery. Another stress point. This one is simple, but it's complicated. You cannot be resilient and sleep deprived at the same time. Sleep debt lowers capacity. It disrupts cortisol. It weakens willpower. It destabilizes blood sugar. And it makes small problems feel like humongous problems. Rest and recovery is not a luxury. It's the biological equivalent of resilience. When the rest is poor, resilience begins to collapse. And then misalignment. This one, y'all, maybe the most quietly destructive of all of them. Resilience erodes when your daily choices contradict what you say you want. There's dissonance there. There's friction there. When your goal is one thing, but your structure supports something else, it causes frustration. And the more often those contradictions happen, the more exhausted, the more discouraged, the more unstable you begin feeling. Misalignment isn't a moral failure, it's a structural gap. It simply means that your blueprint that you've put together, the one that you're using, doesn't match the life that you're trying to build. And they don't mix well. So when you see this, it's not a failure, it is a structural gap. And once you see that gap, you can then begin to redesign it. So let's now talk a little bit about a toolkit. Right? I want you to just give you some tips. Now we understand why resilience is important. We understand the science of resilience. We now know how to build resilience. We know where resilience begins to break down. Let's talk about how do we go about on a daily basis strengthening resilience. 3 tools that I want to give you, that I want you to walk through. And let's do them one at a time. Number 1 is what's called a boundary block. Boundary block. This is the most powerful tool in the entire framework. It is one protected space in your day. I think I've mentioned before that I've got several patients, but one in particular I think about, who blood sugars were erratic and weight was going up, fatigue, just felt out of sorts. And so what we came up with was a time during the day, 2 times actually, 5 minutes each time. And those 5 minutes were hers. And what she needed to do was to carve that 5 minute out and say nothing else during this time. She had to talk to her team. She had to talk to her family. She had to talk to herself. And so twice a day for 5 minutes, she got away and she decompressed. That belongs to you. It cannot be invaded by stress, by people, by chaos. A boundary block. Maybe it's the first 15 minutes in the day. Maybe it's the first 5 minutes in the day. Whatever. This is yours. It may be in the morning. You go for a walk. Maybe in the evening, before bed, midday. A quiet car moment before going into the house. When I'm on my way home, there's a place here where I shift from work to home. And when I see that, there's here in town, we've got the rocket. As I'm coming on the highway, I see the rocket. We got the Space Center here. When I see the rocket, that's my signal. Hey, time to switch. And when I switch, okay, boundary block. The goal isn't activity. The goal is the boundary. Why does this matter for health? Because a consistent boundary stabilizes your cortisol. So my brain, when I see that, when that time comes, I begin to calm. It anchors your nervous system, signals your brain, we are safe, we are in control. Your body performs better, your decisions are sharper, your emotions are settled. A boundary block is not a luxury. It's an internal authority by design. 1, boundary block. Number 2 is a regulation reset. We've talked about the COPE model: clarify, observe, pause, and execute. This is a 1-minute breathing sequence that immediately begins to shift the stress system out of reactivity and into regulation. We've talked about box breathing before. So inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold it for 4 seconds. And repeat that 3 times. What we're doing is we're just taking a moment. This activates the parasympathetic system. It calms the body. The parasympathetic system is the calm pathway. It's not the fight or flight. It's the other one. It lowers cortisol, steadies your heart rate, and reduces the background noise in your brain. It's not meditation. It's not mindfulness. This is a neural recalibration. Take 60 seconds. And it changes how you think, how you decide. It changes how you respond. You want to use it before eating, before meetings, before stress. You got to practice it prior to the event. And then the third one is the rhythm anchor. The rhythm anchor. One non-negotiable habit that you commit to every day. Not 10 habits, not a long list of I shoulds, just one anchor. Because one anchor is worth more than 10 intentions. One of the things I've asked people to do is come up with a non-negotiable. Maybe yours is a food non-negotiable. Maybe it's a movement non-negotiable. Maybe it's a rest and recovery non-negotiable. Whatever it is. One anchor. What's going to be your anchor? Maybe it's a hydration, a 10-minute walk, a protected bedtime window, screens off at a certain time, 1-minute nightly reflection, laying out tomorrow's clothes, right? The anchor doesn't have to be a big one. It just has to be reliable. The brain wants reliability because when one thing is stable, everything else becomes easier to regulate. Rhythm creates predictability, predictability creates calm, and calm creates resilience. Resilience is built in the calibration, not in the crisis. You don't have to be strong in the moment that life hits. You become strong in the moments you designed before life hits. Come on. I want you to hear that. You don't become strong in that moment. What's revealed in the moment is the strength that you developed before because of the design that you put in place. You don't succeed late at night when you're lonely and you're stressed by not eating the ice cream, the cookies, the candy, and the cake. You succeed in that moment because of what you did earlier in the day to deal with the loneliness and the frustration and the emotions. But we've convinced ourselves that if we can somehow get through the moment, man, I was so strong that I didn't succumb. Luck. But when you put something in place, when you put the structure in place, It's no longer luck. It's no longer happenstance. It is that the structure that you had in place took you through and helped you to be successful. Now, there is a place for all that we've just talked about. And what I want you to do is I want you to do this. I want you to begin thinking to yourself, where in my life have I been successful? Where is there a structure that I have been using that has worked for me? And where have there been places where I can use more structure? I want to begin processing that. And our takeaway for this conversation is this: that structure is what allows you to remain strong even when life becomes unpredictable. It is structure that gives you the ability to stay. It is the structure that helps you to be resilient. It is not a personality trait. It is not something that you're born with. So we saw something important. Resilience isn't built during comfort. It is revealed during challenge. It's not intensity. It is a matter of consistency. It is a matter of putting things together in a way that keeps you going when life has its thing. And life is coming. Life is there. Life is functioning. Life is ongoing. Years ago, when I began rebuilding my own health with my diabetes, losing weight, restoring energy, it wasn't about the numbers. It wasn't about the mirror. It wasn't even about discipline. It was about Blake. I told you the patient who said it's the responsible thing to do. I wanted to be around for him. And the way things were going, that was starting to be questionable. I needed to be present. I needed to be strong. And not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, consistency. That was my why. And structure was the way. So I had a why that was strong enough. And the structure was what allowed me to do what I needed to do to fulfill the why. So hear me. You don't build resilience for the hard moments. You build it for the people. You build it for the why. You build it for people who depend on you. You build it for the person you are becoming. You build it for the life you want to live. And as always, when the rhythm, the alignment, and the structure all sync, then we get to live a limitless life. We'll continue our Blueprint series. Come on back and join us as we continue working and talking about what we put in place to keep us successful as we move forward into a limitless life. All right. And you guys know what I'm going to say, right? One of my favorite conversations. Now we'll come back, and actually there's a second part to that conversation that we will have that now talks about, now that we have that base, what do we do with it? Okay. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna do that. We'll do that on next week as we do part 2 of this resilience conversation. But most people do not have challenges in their health and in their life in general because they just don't care. Like I've said this, I don't know how many times I've said this. Nobody wakes up in the morning, and it is the rare person, I shouldn't say nobody, because maybe there is somebody, but I can't think of why. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know, today I'm going to do everything I possibly can do to make my health worse. That's not a thought. But every day we wake up and we do everything possible to make our health worse. We skimp on ourselves. We give all of our energies away to other people. We say, okay, I'll get back to my routine after I get through this, after I finish the project, after I get the raise, after I take care of that person. And we get what's left. And as you heard, capacity, when you're full, you can't take anything else. When your stress level and your frustration and your disappointment, when you're full, anything else that comes pushes you over. And we've got to have predictability, we have to have the capacity, and we have to have flexibility if we're going to be successful. All right, so let's go ahead and let's hop back over, and I see some of our community members there. Let's see, where were we? Let's go. Okay, let's jump right here, because I think I see. Okay, Kenty was saying that correct. So guessed properly, or guessed the correct number. And Jennifer is saying, howdy y'all. What's up, Jennifer? Hi, Jennifer from Gian. Hello, my friends. What's going on, Steve? Hey, man, thank you for coming through. Gian saying hi to Steve. Hope you all are well. Hope you are well from Kenty. Yes, Steve. I know you mentioned a couple weeks ago. Hope you are doing well. Just wanted to shout out to you. Gian says, Steve, hope you're feeling better. Yeah. And Lynn says, I love his you love my acronyms. Okay. Now, which one in particular, Lynn? Gian says, hi, Lynn. She said, I came back here. His uncommon sense on my wall. It says, urges are not commands. I like that one. Urges are not commands. Okay. And Steve says, I feel good. So excited. Yeah, Steve, I'm glad that you are, glad that you are doing better. Hey, y'all, you know, this process that we're going through, the Blueprint series has been an exciting one for me because it is the crux of our metabolic dysfunction, the things that we do. And you heard me say when we started talking about how to build and how to strengthen resilience. And I said you can actually take this and you can apply it across the board to lots of different areas. And that is so true. The reasons why people don't do the things they know to do are all the same. Let me say that again. The reasons why we don't do the things that we know to do are the same. Is because there's not a structure. There's not a structure that's been ingrained. Now, I've told the story when I talk to friends, people who are in military, when I talk to patients, when I talk to clients, law enforcement even, and they say to me, the way you respond in an emergency, in a situation, is the way you practiced. I want you to hear that. When you go to a new job, they train you. Why are they training you? Even if you've done the job for 10, 20, 30 years, when you get to a new job, they train you on that job. Why? Because they do something maybe a little differently. And the training is what's important. And this process that we're going is how do we train ourselves so that in the everyday we respond the way we want. If you don't train, come on, if you don't train, if It's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. And you heard me say recently that I want you to have the same successes in your health, just like you're having in other areas of your lives. Why are you successful in your job? Because you trained and you studied and you worked for the job. You figured out the routines for the job. Let's do the same thing for our health. The two most valuable things that we own: our time and our health. Are you managing your time appropriately? And are you doing what you need to do for your health? Our Triple E formula for success says that we educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows, with the blogs, with the podcasts. We empower with the tools that we learn, and we encourage with the community that you are a part of, that you are helping to build. I'm always excited when I get to come hang out with you all and see the benefits that you're getting and see the successes you're having in your personal lives. When you come, I want you to share that with us. Let us know where you are, what you're fasting. Let us know the successes in terms of weight loss, the blood sugars, getting off of medication, all the things that are happening. We want to know. And we also want to know some of those places that you're having some challenges. Because the story that you tell, the question that you have, the place that you're having some challenges, when you figure that out, that may be the very same answer that somebody else needs. So thank you for coming through. We will be back as we continue our fast for this week. We'll have our tomorrow. If you come on, you'll see what I eat for the last time before I get into this week's fast. We'll of course have our pop-up on tomorrow, on Wednesday. On Wednesday night at 9 p.m., we'll have Dwain Woode, MD, as we do our 33-hour check-in. On Thursday, we'll do our 48-hour pop-up, and then 56-hour check-in at 9 p.m. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll have our complete review of fasting, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast, and how to break the fast. And then we get through the rest of the week. For those of you in our community, we'll have that link up here in just a minute. We'll see you over there in the community area. For everybody, thank you for coming through. Remember to join us for our Move campaign. Let's go ahead and watch that promo right now, and then we'll be out of here. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. And remember, we are living limitless lives. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I'm here to help you have success in this area, in your health, just like you're having in other areas of your life. So you can show up for those things and people that are so important to you, the family, the friends, and for the dreams that you've put so much time into. You don't need superhuman power. You don't need superhuman strength. What you need is a system you can trust. You need a plan you can follow. And you need the support and determination to keep showing up. All right, everybody, have a great one. Here's the promo, and we'll see you in the community. Welcome to Move, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started.